Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? I'm Immortal MMA. And today, I gotta discuss this. This is a fight that I have to discuss. McGregor versus Holloway. Now, I'm not gonna go through the entire card predictions. Those will be later on in the week. But I have to talk about this main event. This main event, Conor McGregor coming back to the UFC. Who would have thought? Not me. After all that Chandler stuff, you could not convince me for a second that Conor McGregor would come back to this sport ever in a million years. But Conor McGregor's coming back. Conor McGregor is coming back. The Mac is back. Let's just get to it. Let's just, let me just go over my thoughts about this fight, what it means for the sport, because this is going to get a crazy amount of eyes on the sport. All the casuals from around the globe are going to start watching. Oh, the Mac is back. The Mac is back. We gotta watch. We gotta watch. Conor McGregor's gonna die. Conor McGregor's gonna die. Conor McGregor's not winning. He's not winning. Look. I'm gonna break it down. But Conor McGregor versus Holloway 2. This is not gonna be a Conor McGregor comeback story. Oh, Conor McGregor's coming back. No. Conor McGregor's gonna die in there. He's gonna die. What are we talking about? Look, let's get to it. First of all, anyone bringing up Conor McGregor versus Holloway 1, get out of here already. Get out of here. That was like 20 years ago or something. What are we doing? McGregor versus Holloway 1? We're bringing that up for this fight? What are we doing? Oh, he out-grappled Max in their first fight 20 years ago. He'll do the same this fight. What are we talking about? What are we doing? That's not gonna happen. First of all, the grappling narrative. Okay, let me get this through people's minds. So, Holloway gets out-grappled by Charles Oliveira. Possibly, I would say Charles Oliveira is either the second or third greatest grappler in the history of the lightweight division. The same guy that literally just submitted Mateusz Gamrot, who is being talked about as this great grappler, this great wrestler, which he is. He is a great grappler. He's had great grappling moments against great grapplers like Arman Tsarukyan. He got destroyed by Charles Oliveira and submitted. And Charles Oliveira had a close split decision with Arman, which I thought Charles won that. Okay, and hey, in the comments you can come after me for saying that. According to the scoring criteria, submissions are held much higher than just control time. And in that third round, Arman just had control time. He didn't have crazy ground and pound. He didn't have any crazy moments in that third round. The submission was in. I'm just saying, that's how I think about it. But that's for a different video. That's for a different conversation. He got out-grappled by that guy. Didn't even get submitted either. Like five full rounds with him. Did not get submitted, while Mateusz Gamrot just got submitted the fight before that. He survived against Charles Oliveira. And, Charles Oliveira, I mean, let's be honest, he completely destroyed Max Holloway. But are we really going to compare McGregor to Charles Oliveira in terms of grappling? And I know this is a higher weight class, and McGregor's going to be huge. He's going to be jacked, so he'll have more strength and more power. He doesn't have the grappling accolades of Charles Oliveira, not even close. And I'm not going to say that Max Holloway is the greatest grappler on the ground. Actually, I actually made this prediction that Oliveira would win against Holloway back on like a separate gaming channel that I had. I really wish that's when I would have started this MMA channel, because that was such a good prediction. Everyone was picking Holloway to destroy Charles, and I literally made a video predicting that Charles would destroy him, and I was right. That would have been such a good prediction. But anyways, getting past that, Charles, he out-grappled Max Holloway. McGregor, one, doesn't have the ability to grapple like Charles. He doesn't have as good wrestling offensively as Charles. He doesn't have as good BJJ as Charles. He doesn't have the submissions that Charles had to, make Holloway not want to advance. Here's the thing. Even though Max Holloway was on, although Charles was on top of Max Holloway and he was hunting for a few submissions in the first, 2 rounds and stuff, here's the thing you gotta think about. Max Holloway couldn't just try to scramble and get up, because when you scramble, that is what creates submission opportunities. That's how Charles Oliveira would latch up many submissions like his Darce or his Anaconda choke. McGregor doesn't have that threat. He doesn't have the threat of these crazy submissions to hit a Holloway on, so Holloway will be able to grapple more freely on the ground. He'll be able to to transition better. He will be able to try to scramble more because he's not going to have to worry about getting his neck snatched up in any moment. Because Charles Oliveira, great guillotine, great submissions all around. He has leg locks, guillotines, anacondas, darces. He has everything in the entire book. Rear naked choke, obviously. He has everything. The greatest submission artist in the UFC history. So obviously you can't just like start scrambling with him and trying to get to your feet and trying to rush, because then you'll get caught in something. Against McGregor, he's not going to have that. And again, McGregor is bigger. He is bigger. He's going to be stronger than Max Holloway. But that's also the thing. From recent videos I've seen, I think McGregor is too big. And I know, it's like, oh, he's too big. But you got to think about this. McGregor is coming off of a 5-year layoff, off of an injury also. We got to also think about that. He injured his leg, broke his leg, really bad break. Every single person that we've seen have this same type of break, never been the same after they came back, first of all. Second of all, it's 5 years off. I don't care how much he's been training, he's gonna be rusty. He's gonna have ring rust. It doesn't matter how well you train. It doesn't matter how, like, the only person I've seen do that well with that many years off is maybe like John Jones when he moved up to heavyweight. And that was for the Gone fight. But then after that, his fight against Stipe was trash. He looked horrible in that fight. He looked bad. I know he finished Stipe, but he looked old and slow in that fight. I'm not going to hold too much for that. Also, John Jones and McGregor, much different. McGregor is coming back off of 5 years, and you're going to tell me with this added muscle that he's going to have, that he's going to out-grapple Max Holloway for however long. He's going to get tired. His muscles are going to fill up. He's going to get super tired if he tries to grapple Max Holloway for 5 rounds. We're not going to act like he's going to grapple Max Holloway and he's going to have no fatigue at all. First of all, Conor McGregor has never had a good gas tank. He's never had a great gas tank. I'm not going to say he had the absolute worst gas tank imaginable, but he's always slowed down in his fights. He's always slowed down in the fights that he couldn't finish pretty fast. Against, a 5-year layoff, and if he tries to grapple for 5 rounds straight, which is not his main thing. His main thing is striking, so grappling would fatigue him even more. You're going to tell me, and with added muscle and added weight on him, you're going to tell me he's not going to get super tired and his blood is going to be pumping so much into his muscles that he's not going to get muscle fatigue? I don't think so. So I don't think that's going to happen. That would just tire him out completely. And since everything starts on the feet and he isn't the greatest offensive wrestler, I just don't think that he would be able to do that well. Like Max Holloway, sure, he got taken down and controlled by Oliveira, but against guys like Alexander Volkanovski, he's no slouch with his offensive wrestling. He's not the best with his offensive wrestling, but he's still, he got Holloway down. Ilya Topuria got Holloway down. Holloway was able to get back up from people like that. I know these are like lower weight classes, but Max Holloway is also bigger now since he's moving up to fight Conor McGregor. If you've seen his physique, he has gained muscle. He has gained weight for this fight, and it's not like bad weight. He looks in good shape. He looks in great shape. He's been able to pop back up from takedowns, and again, McGregor isn't the greatest grappler out there. If you're gonna pull up, again, the first fight, it doesn't matter. That first fight was when Holloway was like 20 or something. Are we gonna act like he hasn't changed since then? And sure, so has Conor, but Conor has been away for 5 years. And the leg break, Conor McGregor, a big part of when he was younger was setting up his strikes with his kicks. I think he's not going to be as successful with that because he's going to be afraid to throw leg kicks maybe. And that's just, that's just me speculating. But, when you have a bad break like that, it's always going to linger in the back of your mind like, oh man, if I throw this kick, I might be scared that like something happens with my leg. Maybe that's not a factor. Maybe Conor McGregor, I know he is very narcissistic and like very confident, so maybe he just doesn't even think about that. So that's just like a little thing. I'm not gonna put too much weight on that, but at the same time, in his most recent fights, the Dustin fights, he was not looking as well as he used to. I'm not going to say that he did horrible in his fight against Dustin the last time before the break. He was doing decently, but Dustin was catching him with some really nice shots. And Max Holloway, I just think, he is going to be the lighter guy, so he will be giving up power and strength to McGregor, but he's going to be the faster guy. He's going to be the slicker guy, I believe, especially since he's been active in the sport. And I know there's these interviews with Conor McGregor where he's talking about like, oh, since I've been gone from the sport, I'm gonna be fresh, and Max Holloway's been fighting all these people, he's been taking this damage, so I'm gonna be the fresher fighter. That's not how this works. That's not how this works, buddy. That's not how this works. People might be like looking at it that way and being like, oh yeah, well that makes kind of sense. You know, that makes sense. He's gonna be fresher because he's not taking any damage. But that's just not how this sport works. That's not how, like, if you see anyone come off from a big layoff, they just do not look the same. They don't look as good as they used to. And there's a reason for that. Staying active is the way in the UFC, in MMA in general. Staying active is the way. You're not gonna take a gigantic break and then look as good as you were like however many years ago that you came back from. You know, it's not gonna work like that. He even gave this as like same excuse he used when he fought against Dustin Poirier, where he literally said that he wasn't himself because he had been away. I think it was like a year that he had been gone from the sport. A year, think about that. And he was literally attributing his loss to the fact that he was gone from the sport.
Your thoughts on how that fight transpired?
You know, it's hard to overcome inactivity over long periods of time, and that's just it. You know, the leg kicks were good. That low calf kick was very good. The leg was dead, and then just wasn't as comfortable as I needed to be. You know what I mean? It's the inactivity, and that's it. But Dustin's a some fighter, and you know, you're in here. If you put in the time in here, you're gonna get cozy in here, and that's it. I have to dust it off and come back, and that's it, and that's what I will do.
But now he's saying that, oh, I've been gone for the sport for literally like 5 times that amount, and that makes me fresh, and I'm going to come in there and beat on Max Holloway. That doesn't make sense. Contradictory statement. Get that out of here. Get that out of here. No, that's not how this works. Sure, Max has been taking more damage. Conor McGregor literally, he was away from an injury. He got injured in his leg. One of the worst injuries I've ever seen on his leg. What are we doing? What are we doing? And I know, like, oh, yes, he got on steroids and stuff. And again, he's going to have the strength and power advantage over Holloway. I'm not saying he's not. But I don't think Holloway's going to get chinned. I don't think he's going to get chinned. I know it's like, oh, well, he got chinned by Ilya. And he's been knocked down in his recent fights. His chin is looking not as good. But it's like, you really got to look at the context of those fights. First of all, against Ilya, that was down at 145. His chin is going to be obviously much better at 170. He's going to be much more hydrated. And I'm not going to, I'm not going to point to that fight and be like, oh, Max Holloway was dehydrated when he fought Ilya. No, he said he had a good weight cut for that fight. I'm not going to say that Ilya just doesn't have, we're not getting into that in this video. He got knocked out by that after like however many, Ilya in that fight, his pace didn't slow down. Conor McGregor, he's never going to be the type of guy to pour on that much pressure as Ilya did, that many strikes in a row as Ilya did in a third round of a fight, unless he gets a second wind. And I just don't see that happening after such a long layoff. Max's chin is not bad now. It's not bad now. Like, people are acting like just because he got knocked down by Dustin Poirier. When he got knocked down by Dustin Poirier, it's because he wasn't moving. Usually Max is moving. Dustin Poirier caught him when he was tired. Because after he had done that whole flurry, after he knocked down Dustin Poirier, and he used so much of his energy trying to get Dustin Poirier out of there, when he didn't finish Dustin Poirier, you could visibly see Max was starting to be tired. He wasn't moving as much. And then eventually that led to him getting hurt on the feet by Dustin Poirier with that punch that he landed. And that's the reason why. It's not because his chin just magically got worse in that fight or anything, or that like, oh, since Ilya cracked his chin and knocked him out, his chin is just like way worse now. It was because he just wasn't moving as well as he usually does, because he used so much energy trying to finish the fight against Dustin Poirier. It's not because his chin was just like horrible. It's just that he didn't move away from the shot. He didn't move away from the shot well, and he kind of just ate it. And again, McGregor could catch Holloway. I'm not going to say that McGregor has no chance, because McGregor is very good. He's a very, very good striker. His left hand is always money, of course. I think at a higher weight class, Holloway's going to be able to eat more, and you got to think about it. Conor McGregor, even though he's going to be bigger and more powerful, at lightweight, he wasn't the same knockout artist that he was at featherweight. That's just a fact. Sure, he knocked out Eddie Alvarez, which is really, really impressive, but it took so many strikes, so many flurries for him to finally get that KO. Against Dustin Poirier, he wasn't able to land those shots to really get Dustin out of there, because at lightweight, he didn't really have the same type of power he had at featherweight. And in featherweight, he could land one good shot, one clean shot, and you're out of there. But at lightweight, he had to have these major flurries and, these combinations. And I don't think he's going to get that on Holloway. I think Holloway's going to be too good with his head movement. Although Holloway is the most hit fighter in the UFC, he was getting hit a lot in his older fights. And I'm not saying he doesn't get hit in these recent fights that he's been having, but it's just that when he is getting hit, a lot of the time it's just not really to the effect of, okay, Max Holloway is getting like really badly hit and he's getting rocked everywhere. Although he's the most hit fighter, I think Conor McGregor is obviously gonna land like decent shots on him. I think he might even wobble Holloway during the fight and maybe the first round, but I think that he's just gonna survive if that happens. I don't think he's gonna get finished, and I think that over time he's gonna pour the pressure on Conor McGregor. I think he's gonna pour the pace on Conor McGregor and just overwhelm him with strikes. I think he's gonna go for a lot of body shots. His body shots are always money. He does really nice body work. He did a really good job against Justin Gaethje, did a really good job against Dustin Poirier, and I think he's gonna do a really good job against Conor McGregor, slowly eating away at his gas tank even more. And again, Conor McGregor, compared to all the fighters that Max Holloway has been facing, Conor McGregor compared to Ilya, compared to Justin Gaethje, compared to Dustin Poirier, he has the worst gas tank out of all of them. And he's, again, coming back from a long layoff, so his gas tank's probably going to be even worse than it used to be. And he's, fighting at this higher weight class. He's going to have more muscle on his body, so his muscles are going to fatigue more than, past him would have. I think that's all going to accumulate with the strikes that Holloway is going to be landing, which is going to damage McGregor, which is going to damage his gas tank if Holloway does do really well with the body work, his spinning kicks, his straights to the body. The more rounds this goes, I think he's gonna just survive the first round. I think that'll be McGregor's best round. Maybe McGregor even takes the second round. Maybe McGregor is able to take the second round, does a little bit more damage, but I just see Holloway pouring it on him. I don't even see it like the second round going to McGregor, honestly. I see the first round maybe goes to McGregor. He hits a nice shot on Holloway that wobbles him maybe, and then it's like, oh my goodness, McGregor might finish Holloway, and then Holloway just starts destroying him in the second round, destroying him in the third round, and I think this is going to be a third or fourth round TKO. I don't see this going the distance. I see Conor McGregor getting finished by Max Holloway. I think he's been away from the sport too long. I think that he's going against one of the greatest strikers in history. Max Holloway is looking really good recently, and Conor McGregor, he hasn't even fought recently. There's not even much to compare, because even in his last two fights that he's had, he got whooped by Dustin Poirier, so there's not much to compare there. This is going to be such a different McGregor from what people are used to seeing. People are going to overrate him, all these people, all these YouTubers talking about how Conor McGregor's he's just gonna do it, man. He's just gonna land that punch, man. He's just gonna hit Max, man. Max's power looks better when he entered lightweight. Conor McGregor's power looked worse when he entered lightweight. And I know that's kind of like, this is going to be at welterweight. It's going to be different, obviously. There's going to be much more muscle on McGregor. But still, I think, since Holloway's putting on muscle mass too, I think his shots are going to sting more too. Max Holloway, I don't think he's going to get out grappled. This is not Charles Oliveira we're speaking about. This is not, a 20-year-old Max Holloway we're talking about. This is not the, young McGregor we're talking about either. McGregor isn't going to be as fast as he used to be. He's going to be the slower fighter in this fight. Holloway's going to be obviously faster than him. And I think that speed, along with the pressure and the volume, is just going to eat away at McGregor, and he's just going to kill him. He's just gonna kill him. I don't care what any of these YouTubers say, like, oh, Conor McGregor is gonna come back and he's just gonna hit him with that big left hand and he's just gonna chin Max Holloway. One person does it, and all of a sudden, Max Holloway is getting chinned by everybody now, I guess. He gets dropped once by Dustin, and all of a sudden, he's gonna get chinned by McGregor now. Okay, come on now. Are we gonna act like him getting dropped by Dustin equates to McGregor? And are we gonna act like a flash knockdown against Justin Gaethje, where he literally instantly got back up? Oh, his chin's gone, guys. His chin's gone. He got dropped for a second. What are we doing? He got dropped for a second against Justin Gaethje. It took 3 rounds of him getting battered by Ilia Topuria. Ilia Topuria landed so many decent shots, so many straights, so many hooks on Holloway in that fight. It took 3 rounds of that for him to finally start, getting chinned. McGregor is he's not gonna do that. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna look slower. He's gonna look not as good. He's gonna gas out, and he's gonna get finished. What are we doing? What are we doing with this? Come on, why is this even a debate? Why are people actually making this a debate? Why are people actually like 50-50 on this on YouTube? What am I looking at right now? What are we doing? People are talking about these upsets. Man, if you're really paying attention, the Hamzat versus the Strickland fight, that wasn't like, yes, it was a crazy upset, but this wasn't like, so if you were really paying attention to Styles, because Styles have always made fights, I knew that that was going to be a close fight. Anyone that really knew about the style of Hamzat Chimaev, who saw that, you know, even though he completely controlled DDP with almost, you know, virtually no resistance, DDP just let him kind of have his way with him because DDP didn't want to risk putting himself into a submission or anything. Even in that fight where he had complete control and he was barely wasting any energy, he literally got more tired than DDP in the 5th round. He had a draw with Usman. I don't care what people say, that should have been a draw. Usman won the 2nd and 3rd round for me. Maybe I have to rewatch that fight. Maybe he didn't win the second round. Maybe he didn't win the 3rd round. Whatever. I don't. Like, he had like such a close fight against Usman, coming up a weight class on short notice, like 10 days notice. This was always gonna be a close fight, but people just didn't want to see that. The Ilya thing, I'll give it to you. Like, that was obviously a huge upset. I didn't expect Ilya to just go out there and just march forward and be an idiot. No offense, Ilya. You know, I love Ilya, but come on now. What was bro thinking? Just marching forward, having no respect for Justin Gaethje, and trying to force a finish on Justin Gaethje. Dumbest thing he could have ever done in that fight whatsoever. But people are acting like because of these 2 fights happening, that McGregor is gonna just magically pop back and like, hey guys, I'm just gonna knock out Max Holloway. I'm just gonna knock it. Boom! Knock out Max Holloway. What are we doing? No! I know I'm like just repeating the same stuff, but come on. I really feel like this shouldn't be a debate. Acting like McGregor is just gonna come back and re-enter his prime. The guy's like 38 or something, coming off of an injury, 5-year layoff. His last 2 fights were him getting destroyed by Dustin Poirier. He had some decent moments in both of those fights, but Dustin Poirier was gonna win both of those fights. I'm gonna look like such an idiot if like Conor McGregor just goes out there and slimes out Holloway in the 1st round. Oh no, this is gonna age like my Alex versus Gone video. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if people think I'm an idiot or if people think this or that. That Gone versus Alex video, I broke down what I saw, and you can say, you know, in hindsight, oh, this and that. I thought I did a pretty decent job breaking it down, if I do say so myself. I'm glazing myself now. I'm glazing myself. The self-glaze is crazy. But anyways, let me just end this video. Y'all have listened to me yap too long about this. In conclusion, McGregor gets stopped in the 3rd or 4th round. Probably the same prediction I'll have when I do the full card breakdown. I just think the leg kicks are going to give him problems. The gas tank's not going to be there. The body shots for Holloway, the straights, the hooks are going to be there for Holloway to the body of McGregor, which is just going to slow him down more. The pace is going to be there for Holloway. Holloway's chin isn't deteriorated. It's not gone, unlike, you know, people seem to think now, just because he got dropped for a second against Gaethje, and he got dropped by Dustin Poirier when he was gassed out after he was trying to finish Dustin Poirier with this crazy flurry that he had. This whole chin narrative, oh, his chin is gone now. He's getting knocked down. I know he got hit with some decent shots by Oliveira too, but come on now. I'm not on this train that his chin's gone. Get out of here. But anyways, let me end this video. Holloway's gonna win. McGregor's not gonna win. All the old heads, all of the casuals coming back. McGregor's not going to win. I'm going to look like such a casual if I get this wrong. But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button with the left hand. Hit that calf kick on that subscribe button. And TKO that comment section in the 3rd or 4th round. And let me know what your thoughts are about this fight. What do you think about McGregor coming back to the sport? He's going to get so many more eyes back onto the sport. What do you think about Holloway moving up to 170 to fight Conor McGregor? His comment about trying to stay at 170, maybe, that he might stay at 170. Horrible mistake. Why would he ever do that? I don't think he should ever do that. If that's in his plans, he should never move to 170. He will get absolutely cooked by the top 5, the top 6, probably the top 10. Imagine Holloway versus Michael Morales. Let's just say that. Like, come on now. But, if you enjoy this video, do all those things. And I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.